All right, well, hello everybody. My name is SuperSonic, and I got Joey B with me, who just did the Sonic 2 run just a few minutes ago. So now we got the little back-to-back here, except I'm on the hot seat this time. So we're gonna be playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and you can kind of see on the top corner of your screen, I have a custom-made hitbox, and I am playing on original console as well. So we'll do our best to get a lot of these tricks. I'll try for a lot of them for like one try, and if I end up messing up like Marble Garden, for instance, like I do have a backup save file here. But without further ado, we'll go in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck, man.
Thanks, I'll need it. So,
All right, so
yeah, go for it, Joey.
This is SUK. So there's a lot of parts in this run. You're gonna be like, oh, what in tarnation's going on? But like, but Angel Island Zone is gonna be pretty subtle. So at the start, he's gonna spin dash into the top and get a bit of speed shoes here. Oh no, he's
I had a feeling
Haruka's over here.
I had a feeling I was gonna miss that, but we'll just take the old-fashioned route here.
Oh yeah, don't worry. I mean, did you see my Emerald one? So don't worry about that.
Yeah, this is going swimmingly.
Yeah, it's gonna go over here. Yeah. So what was really cool about this game is that there is elemental shields in this game. So fire, lightning, bubble, and you can take them with you from the previous act to the act 2, and that will allow you to essentially, if there's a good shield you get from a previous act to that you can bring to another, it can be useful. So coming to the end, it's a pretty simple stage. Gonna come up to the top here, gonna jump up, nice skip on the spring there. I'm gonna take himself to the mini boss. So Act 1s have bosses here. They more or less usually takes up to 6 hits. Nicely done. And you can see Sonic has a new ability called the Insta Shield. So if he presses the action button in the middle of the air, he can perform a little shield attack, and that does two things. That extends his hitbox by a couple of pixels, so that is able to reach that's further away, and that gives him iframe invincibility for a couple frames, and that can allow him to like get really cheeky movement that avoids taking damage. You're gonna see the bubble shield in action here. You're gonna spin dash over here, and we're gonna use this bubble shield to get some nice movement to take up path that we're gonna use to drain the water here. You're gonna take a little bounce here at the highest part of that ground there, press the button there. And there's a really cool tech we're gonna see, and when SuperSonic's gonna bounce off this lightning monitor, right? Nicely done. And that's the final time you're gonna ever see that bubble shield. So hope you got a really good showcase of that. So now you're gonna see the lightning shield, really nice jump. It's a really tight jump there. So that's a precise input to get a good layer of height off that slope. Time double jump correctly, reach up the top without taking the spring over there. And now SuperSonic intentionally did that bit of movement just before this runaway section here that's going to manipulate how the cutscene triggers at the end of this level here. I don't know the technicalities, but basically if you move Sonic in such a way throughout this section here, you can have Sonic be actionable during the cutscene, which allows you to prevent like watching Knuckles break the bridge essentially, and you can just have Sonic just drop right down into a Hydra.
Whoops, a little too early. I don't know if I got this correctly. Guess we'll find out.
We shall see. You can see the lightning shield's nice. Once you get all the hits, you can just double shield out of there, double jump before taking the plunge there. Really solid act. It's a really solid zone. So we'll see if it works.
We didn't get it.
Unfortunately. Yeah, so you can see like if you're able to skip this, you could just spin dash to the bottom without the bridge breaking. Basically, it's like a 6-second time save. It's not a big. So now we're in Hydra. I don't want to say the name, man, but
we'll just call it Splishy Splashy Fun Time Zone.
I think I technically already named it, but let's pretend I didn't. Yeah, so pretty simple stage. This is the calm before the storm. Hydra 1 is not much going on for it, but Hydra 2 onward, that's where the nitty-gritty start. So we're gonna take this downwards path here, get the red spring there, and nice little walk through water section. That's like the only time you're ever gonna see it, because you're gonna skip the entirety of Act 2 just later. So coming to the boss here, I'm gonna take this little hand boy, grabby, spinny thingy. I don't. I'm sure it has a name. I didn't bother checking the manual for it.
I don't even know what it's called either. Ah.
Yeah. Yeah. So this boss is like really dumb. It's not even like difficult. It's just dumb. Like so, you're able to get bounces off of him. Really nice insta shield pressure there. But you're able to spin edge up the slope and then bounce on him while he's off screen. But the hitboxes are circling around him. Those little like missiles, and that can be a difference between getting all the hits in the air or getting like 4 or 3 or none at all. It's really random sometimes. So we're gonna see SuperSonic take an intentional death here. So this is to set up the level wrap here. So he needs to basically deload the remnants of Act 1, Hydro Act 1, to set this boss skip up. Really nice clip there. So that's able to zip him into the floor and get a level wrap. He's gonna time a spin dash just when the slope, just when the screen is about to catch up to the boss arena, and when you get the screen to snap into the boss fight, it will snap Sonic in place, and he will be positioned in the boss room. You want to see that instant shield being put to good use. He can basically be out of range from Robotnik, but also out of range of touching his little spike blade like just below him and touching his actual hitbox. So that's really useful for situations like that.
Marble Garden's coming up, and this zone is really stupid. There is actually 2 different strats I can go for. The first one is like a level wrap. I'm not going to guarantee I'll get it or not, but I'll try for it anyway. But if we don't get it, then I'll just do the backup strat, which will still take me to the boss fight, just a little slower. Oh shoot, I accidentally spin dashed. I didn't think I was going to get in there.
Oh, that was so close. Yeah. So that's that level wrap tech requires a lot of manipulation. So he was intentionally being neutral during his descent and doing the inputs off screen a specific way, because you have to manipulate the subpixels for Sonic to be able to clip into the ground when you're off screen. There's a lot of little things going down, but basically it's all you need to know is a really hard technical strat. But it does save a lot of time if you hold with. So SuperSonic's gonna take the tried and true classic, gonna, I guess you can say, play the level normally, except not really. So
pretty much, yeah.
Kinda, yeah. Yeah, so what SuperSonic is doing is called the horizontal screen wrap. So he's panning the screen down and jumping, and when Sonic is off screen during this point, the game wraps vertically one single time. During that instant, all objects are essentially deloaded. So in that instance, you saw Sonic is just kind of sitting inside of that yellow spring because it was deloaded while Sonic was approaching it. So when the screen comes back in place, the yellow spring comes back while Sonic is on it, and you're able to manipulate that to clip through the wall and basically just get in through the wall and just skip a lot of the other stages. So now you're in the loopback area of Marble Garden. So this is technically in the area where Act 2 would be. Ooh, nicely done. Okay, so this is the Act 2 boss, by the way. So the loading trigger of the Act 2 boss is still loaded in Act 1, and you basically get Sonic in so far into the right of the level, way past the Act 1 boss, to essentially just reach him, essentially. And you can just kill the Act 2 boss from there. So now SuperSonic is going to position himself to get this capsule here that's moving back and forth. Get a nice hit. Lower the screen now, get a jump. Very nice. Right, so he finished Act 1, but the Act 2 boss has a mandatory level transition into Carnival Night Zone, so it's gonna go to pitch black even though you're in Act, and then just go straight into Carnival Night 1, which as you can tell is a very hefty time. You skip an entire level without pretty much entering it. And just after that, we're gonna do another glitch called the wheel glitch. When Sonic grazes his head on the wheel and lands on an object just after, you basically get the wheel properties outside of the wheel. And how the wheel works is that, ooh, okay, you might have got to take a death from the loot bag, wherever that is.
Where am I?
Yeah, so.
Alright, let's see.
Find it eventually, yeah.
There I am. There a pit
Oh, I know this. Mishmash Hell. I know this one. I love this level.
Oh wait, over this way, right?
Yeah, there's a death pit. Yeah, over here. Like a nice little Yahoo down there.
This is such a great garbled mess. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
It took me.
Yeah. If you mess that up, you have to like kind of like maneuver through a labyrinth of garbage to find that death pit. Try again. But yeah, like I said, yeah, the wheel glitch. You take the properties of the wheel out of the wheel, basically, and how the wheel works is that there's a gravitational pull on the center of the wheel. So basically, wherever Sonic's feet is at, it's going to shoot him down like that direction, basically. So you can manipulate that.
Trying to go for the spin dash, and I just jumped.
Yeah, what SuperSonic's trying to do is that he's trying to spin dash while he's gravitating to the left. So he needs to position Sonic really high up in the level, so he's able to position himself against the boss room wall to actually fight the boss. I mean, it's definitely not normal anymore, but basically the way that he's trying to intend to fight the boss. And that requires Sonic to be spin dashing up, like basically gaining height as he's ascending upwards to latch onto the wall so he can fight the boss the way he wants to. So it's a really tricky strat to go for. And another thing to bring up about this, I guess the game and specifically, is that the game saves your progress from Act 2 clears. So because SuperSonic finished a Marble Garden technically without ever beating Act 2, the game is still in a Marble Garden state. So if SuperSonic loses all his lives or he resets, really nicely done. If SuperSonic has to reset at any given point, he would have to play Marble Garden again, because he technically never beaten Marble Garden properly to make the game save into, make the file select save into Carnival Night Zone. So you have SuperSonic holding himself against the wall so he can land straight on the little spinner here. So in this particular state, he has to make sure to never jump, because jumping kills the wheel glitch. So he has to wait for the spinner to come to the boss so he's able to get the spinner to make contact with the little what's this guy named? Drildo? I don't know his name.
I don't know what his name is, but that's what we kind of call it.
Yeah, it is a nickname. We be quirky like that. So he still has the glitch in state. He still has the from Act 1, so he's gonna try to ride this glitch to skip 2 as well. So give him a little quiet time, because pretty hefty time loss here. Done well.
Okay.
Pretty good.
This is the part I'm worried about. Okay, that's fine. I guess I'll do the backup.
Ooh, yeah. So he hasn't jumped yet, so he was able to clip into the ceiling there if he was he had a faster spin dash, but there is a backup here if he can hold a spin dash right here. Or, I'm sorry, hold a crouch. And he can get a clip in the spikes above, and that's able to give him a clip straight into the ceiling. And just hold a spin dash, and he just zips all the way to the end. So still skipping the act, so that's really... So if you mess this up, you would more likely lose slope glitch, but in worst case scenarios, you can soft lock yourself, which is the very worst, because that would mean you have to reset and play Marble Garden again, which is cataclysmic time loss. But we're not have to worry about that. We're out of the woods. All right, so you see SuperSonic is raising his hand. He's fondling the console. He's gonna reset that up, because the cutscene that goes into Ice Cap is slower than just resetting the game.
Now we can chill for like 20 seconds.
Yeah, this is the game Sky Chase. It's like a 20-second little, oh, that's cool, but in the speedrun's like, all right, I guess I just do nothing for 20 seconds. No big. But yeah, this stage is another level where we can skip the entirety of it, basically. So this is another level where you can access remnants of Act 2. Essentially, the entirety of Act 2 is loaded in Act 1. So if you're able to perform a level wrap to reach that Act 2 area, you can reach the launch phase trigger, which is exactly what SuperSonic's going. So he's going to get into the platform. He's going to try to time his input right.
Early.
Unfortunately, yeah. Yeah, so basically, if he's able to get a spin dash, get a right hold to reach the wall at a certain point, the platform basically deloads off of him, or he just gets a weird state where can interact with the floor and get slope glitch. So yeah, so slope glitch, yeah, if an object gets deloaded off your feet, you basically get the state to flip into the slopes and the ground essentially. And you can manipulate to get a lot of speed if you're able to get a good run down through the level. So, yeah, so that allows a lot of skips into this level if you can get the slope glitch. So I'm gonna try this again.
Too low? No, that's good.
That's good, that's good. Alright, 1, 2, 3, bop. So SuperSonic's gonna have to have a lot of visual cues to do some movement here. So he has to maneuver a lot of the level, basically without ever seeing anything. So he got into Knuckles' corridor here. So this is actually Knuckles' path. And is able to get him an actual level wrap. So he's doing some inputs off screen to navigate Sonic to reach the launch base trigger. So he's trying to basically backtrack Sonic into that area. We got a little lower path here, but that can still be saved. He just has to time when to slow down to reach the trigger here. Very nicely done.
Good enough.
Kind of the slower way, but getting inside is all that matters. So he's gonna touch that part of the snow. He's gonna hit into the launch base trigger. Then now we're gonna see SuperSonic. I haven't stopped talking because this is a trick coming up immediately after the other. So
it's just gonna be a snowball of just tricks like in every zone practically. So
yeah, so we can see SuperSonic is kind of puppeting this Skybot over here, this little Flybot. So he's going to intentionally try to position Flybot to get close to him. He's going to stand on the elevator. He's going to hit him into the elevator. He's able to spin dash on the elevator. And if he times a spin dash release within a 2-frame window and then releases it, and he can get clipped off the elevator into the wall, and that gets him a level wrap. And that brings him into the boss fight for Act 1 for Knuckles' side. So there's 2 boss fights of this exact same fight. One has 2 of these enemies, and the other has 1. So this is Knuckles' boss fight, technically. It's still loaded when you play Sonic. So what's pretty interesting about this one is that the game is coded to end Act 1 when one of them is defeated. Because the game normally expects Sonic to only kill one of these guys, the game codes to only trigger the act clear when one is dead. So you can leave one alive into Act 2. And what's amazing about that is if you kill him into Act 2, the game triggers that and treats that as killing a boss in Act 2. And Sonic coming into here, that sets up to completely finishing Act 2. He doesn't have to do that, but that's a little nice visual there, your little peacock.
Peacock, yep. Go for another cutscene skip here, because there's really not much I can do after this until the
reset the console, and that should take him straight into Mushroom Hill. So yeah, that skips like probably the biggest, like the longest stage in the run, essentially. It's such a long stage because you have the 3-parter boss fight, or 2-parter actually, your Sonic, Knuckles. So yeah, now we're in Mushroom Hill. So just after all that, we have another trick coming up. We're gonna press this button, we're gonna position Sonic under this door that's coming down. He's gonna try to get a clip into the floor. He has to time the movement just right, where if he's too far to the left, he dies, and if he's too far to the right, he just pops out without anything happening. If he's just right, he can clip into the floor. He's gonna do a little zip to the left here. So what SuperSonic is trying to do, he's finding air pockets, positioning Sonic at a certain direction. Oh man. But yeah, he's trying to descend low enough into the floor so he can set up another glitch for Act 2, but we'll get to that when we get there. So basically, SuperSonic has to get Sonic pretty low into the floor here to set this all up. Just trying to do precise jumps to descend inside this wall without going too far to the left here.
Went too far again.
He's also playing rogue aggro mode. You know, I don't see that pause button being touched, which I respect.
I only do the pausing for this part here for the door clip.
Yeah.
This door clip is like really annoying to get Come on, dude.
Not to bring up like little funny Sonic drama, but there's like a split between like, you know, what warrants pausing and like, you know, what's egregious pausing and what's too much of it or like whatnot. People get a little sweaty when it comes to how should a trick be paused or whatnot. Little funny banter that people take seriously sometimes, and some people do. But yeah, everyone has different ways to approach the game. Yeah, so there we go. That looks nice. So what SuperSonic just did, that he raised the screen low enough. Lowered the screen low enough, so it basically skips a crucial like screen position into the boss, and that allows Sonic to basically hit the boss way earlier into the level. Like, and basically you're able to kill the boss much faster. And that kind of messes up the level position in Act 2. And basically he starts Act 2 like clipped into the floor. And that allows him to start descending down to this wall here. And with a precise position here, he's able to zip basically like 2/3 of the stage. It's all the way to the end. Nicely done there. That's like a good chunk of level done. But yeah, that requires manipulating the boss. So it's a glitch that's only possible after performing specific requirements in Act 1. But it's really cool when it all comes together. You get the fire shield here because the boss has a fire shield in stake, so that allows don't have to worry about taking damage from him.
All right, we'll take that.
Nicely done. Alright, very nice. So we're gonna do another reset here. This cutscene is pretty darn long. Alright, now we're coming up to flying batteries. So we're gonna coming up another trick, but this one's a little more easy to explain. It's also pretty cool to see too. So Sonic is going to position him in close to this little floor zipper here, and he's gonna pan the screen down and spin that quickly. So basically, holding down the screen and zipping upwards skips a trigger where it would normally uncurl Sonic from his ball form, and that basically incorrectly makes Sonic spin dash in the mesh, and that gives him this awkward state where he basically has slope glitch at this point, and a nice cute little sprite to boot, as intended, as we call it, by design.
And intended.
And I was able to like just go completely straight to the right to the right into the boss fight here. So we have Missile Tickles. Takes 6 hits to obliterate this bozo, and after the fifth hit, SuperSonic is going to position Sonic. I'm saying Sonic a lot. On the right side of this button here, and then he's gonna get Sonic standing on the edge of this capsule, and basically it deloads the boss capsule object, and it gives him slow glitch. And now he has a one-try chance to get a ceiling clip here, but there is a backup if you don't get it. Hopefully.
Worst case scenario, I'll have to play the level glitchless.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give him some breathing room here. Okay. So there's a backup here. Okay, that's part 1. Pretty smooth sailing in terms of the laser skip method. Okay, there we go. Okay, so what SuperSonic tried to do before is that if you time your jump just right into that slope there, you can basically just ride that wall up to the top of the ceiling, and you can just skip basically straight into the boss area. But unfortunately, he just jumped a hair too early, I believe, and just had to take the backup. So the backup just needs him to like go down the wall, like up the wall and then down the floor and zip into the laser area. So that ceiling method would have skipping this laser skip. So SuperSonic is technically able to skip this laser here, but he would have to perform a spin dash quick enough to the laser at a certain area here, and that just makes him go straight through the laser here. Unfortunately, I don't think he has a chance. Yeah. So once the laser encloses quick enough, he can't go through it anymore. So yeah, so you have to basically go through it while it's already off screen. So once that left laser has moved too far to the right, he has to just wait it out, which loses a pretty hefty amount of time, but you know, it is what it. Speaking of waiting, this is a nice waiting little section here. So how's life?
It's good so far, you know. Still trying to get used to this hitbox here. I mean, I kind of wanted to show it off too, because you know it's not very often that I play on this thing, so just gotta practice on it a little more, especially with spin dashing and such. I mean, aside from that, you know, I'm still able to get some of the tricks, except Carnival Knight decided to not play nicely.
Yeah, shout out to the hitbox. Got a custom-made Genesis controller. That I don't think anyone ever even has something like that. Not that I recall. I think even the people that you had commissioned to make that didn't know what the hell they were getting themselves into. It was like, oh, Genesis. Oh, we gotta look into that a little. Whatever.
Yeah, because they normally make hitboxes for the GameCube or like any of the recent consoles, like anything that has like a USB port in it. So yeah, this was actually specially requested because I was looking into getting a hitbox controller for the Genesis, specifically for Sonic speedruns. Just so, you know, like having the freedom of being able to press these buttons like without having to worry about the rubbers go out on the Genesis controller, because they're really hard to come by. So I just messed this up.
Yeah, so you can get a clip down here. Press like a 2-tap spin dash into a 2-tap spin dash. The setup is very subpixel dependent. If you mess it up the first try, then you kind of just have to kind of throw yourself in there and hope it works again.
Usually I would be fine getting this, but other times not really. I'm not getting there. Yeah, and it's a lot better than playing the level normally anyway, so.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, but that is a dope hitbox. If it wasn't so tailor-made, it'd be easy to like get like some custom artwork for it, unless that's also commissioned as well.
Yeah, for sure. Come on, get in there.
Ooh, maybe.
50-50.
He's taking his time there.
Okay.
There we go. He was like thinking there, yeah. So even if you get the zip there, it could be kind of a hit or miss whether the wrap even functions. But yeah, there you go. That's the wrap. Take some straight into the boss here.
Just kind of sit here and wait for the boss. And this boss is nothing special either. It's just a glorified auto-scroller per se.
Yeah, the SNK side of the run is yeah, you can do some stretches, get some water, do your taxes. You can do a lot of things during the time you wait here.
Do anything really at that point. But, speaking of hydrate.
Yeah, but speaking of controllers, but speaking of controllers, there's so many different ways you can run games. Like I use a Genesis 6 button. Hell, I even use an arcade stick, but the lever version with the actual stick. And of course, you see SuperSonic here with a hitbox. There's folks that play as a keyboard. There's folks that play on Xbox controllers. Different range of skill, and they make use of it. And yeah, we have a lot of runners in the community that accomplish really good stuff with multiple different ways. So even if you don't think you have a good controller, you know, you'd be surprised what people can get away with what they have, you know. I personally can't play on keyboard, but a lot of people make good work with it. Also can't fathom the idea of playing on an Xbox controller, but there's so many good runners that make good use of it. So that's just like, you know, once you put the time into it, you can get a lot with it. So here we have Sanopolis 2, probably the longest level in the run, even in the speed run, like optimally. There's a lot going into this level. Is one of the levels that if there's any level in this game that has any potential of a new trick, would be this. This would be pretty much the holy grail for Sonic 3 and Knuckles, if we can find a way to get slope glitch or a level wrap in this game, like in this level here, because that would save a lot of time. So if anyone out there has a little itch to be a little sport, you know, then, you know, I'm always open for any kind of ideas, cause damn, I'm desperate. Anyways, so he did a he did a little loop clip there. I'm saying like it's a kind of minor thing, but it's actually a pretty difficult loop clip there. You can skip a usually required sand section where you break the sand and it starts rising up, and you do a lot more weighting so you can have Sonic reach the top part of the section of Sandopolis to do a little screen wrap. So this is another level where it's vertically scrolling, so you can use that to manipulate on how the objects are loaded in. If there's a pillar that's against a wall, you can clip into that wall pretty easily with a horizontal screen wrap. Coming to the end here, gonna get Sonic on top of this pillar when it reaches its peak. Reach the top of this pillar and get up there. Really nicely done. And lo and behold, we're already at the boss. So yeah, so this level has a lot of subtle optimizations. It's really impressive what people can find with this stage. Like, there's so many. I think this is the most like creative level for some people. People just have so many different ways of how they want to approach this. Like, you can play the level with like a fire shield, you can play a lightning shield, and they all have different little subtle strats and differences on the movement. And yeah, it's really cool to see what people and they're not that much different to each other. Alright, we're on the lava reef. Are we gonna see a wall clip here?
We're not doing the level wrap here, but I will do the other thing.
Okay, cool. Like the raise the elevator up and then go under it kind of thing?
Yeah, that one.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so there is a wrap in Lava 2, but it's really tricky to go for. And it saves like maybe 20 seconds if done like super optimally. But requires you to spin dash through a door that normally Sonic shouldn't have access to. So right on the left of that elevator he went down on, there is a door that you can kind of clip into with a really precise spin dash, and that takes you into Knuckles' area basically. And if you can get into Knuckles' area, there's a little spot where you can spin dash, like get under the floor and clip into a section where you can zip off of and get level. But it's really hard to do, so I don't blame SuperSonic not going for it. He's gonna play the level and save a little sanity, you know.
Pretty much. As much as you can save, right?
Yeah, they say time save is pretty vital and important, but man, I think my my life expectancy has some benefits and priorities to it too. So we're coming to the boss here. I got Mr. Inflatable two-man boss. Round 1 section. Yeah, there's his little fingies, I guess. Yeah, so we're gonna see a monitor clip here. So this is the granddaddy time save, the classic, if you will. So he's gonna position Sonic in this exact spot where a monitor normally pops out. He's gonna try to clip under the floor, like under the monitor, to get a clip into the.
I hit it too early. I think I was too far left on the initial setup. So.
Yeah, so yeah, SuperSonic is trying to not hit the monitor as it's rising up, so it basically drops on his head. And then SuperSonic has to slow down, so Sonic uncurls from his ball form so he doesn't break the monitor when it falls on him, if he's still in ball form. So it can do a lot of different things. It could just pop him out, he can break it like he just did, it can crush him, or it can clip him, or it can clip him and then make him fall down anyway. So there's a lot of different results. Probably like one of the most like, oh god, oh man, like will this work? God, I hope so, kind of tricks of all time. So yeah, it has a big reputation in the community, and yeah, it's the trick of all time in this speedrun. Everyone knows it. If you ever touched this game in a speedrun sense, it's very infamous. Especially since it saves like practically a minute, and you have one single try to go for. Because SuperSonic wouldn't be playing this entire level at this point if he got the wrap. But yeah, that's the name of the game, man. That's what you sign up for when you pick up this wonderful game. As much as I have to complain about his flaws, if you will.
Oh, it is a pretty risky game to run at first, but it's really fun, and I do really like this game a lot in general as well. So you have to like really love the game to really play this, like, or run it. because there's like so many things that can go wrong. But it's really nice to kind of show, like, you know, how things work in this game. Or get this. There we go. So yeah, we got the boss skip here.
Yeah, I love how you were just like, you know, so and so. As you get stair clip like first try, like, yeah, whatever. Just another day at the office.
Of course, it's like the, you know, the tricks that you don't really expect going wrong, like actually go right, or something like that. But anyways, we got Knuckles here.
Yeah. Gonna stand in position and just oh no the hell out of him. He, you know, basically Knuckles is like, man, it didn't work that time, but it's gonna work this time. Let me just do the exact same thing I did before. I'm gonna catch him off guard the time. I swear it. Yeah, pretty predictable if you position yourself in the spot. But yeah, what SuperSonic did, like a stage prior, the stair clip that zipped him inside a little tube, that skips the entire Lava Reef 2 boss fight that Sonic and Tails normally has to do. So you basically make Sonic wound up in the Knuckles area where Knuckles is supposed to be going to, and that could take him straight into Hidden Palace. So yeah, pretty nice time save there.
Okay, we got all 3 Slinkies. Run is valid.
Nicely done, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, we got approaching our final section here. Well, second to last zone, if you will. A little bit of extra waiting here. He's pantsing like a dog. He's all pooped out. You know, man, that jump into glide didn't work 8 times in a row. Man, where did I go wrong? So SuperSonic's gonna wait for him to give him a little cue on when to release his spin dash. Nicely done. So basically, when Sonic reaches the far right, starts a screen timer like for the pole there that he grabbed. So basically, once he reaches there, it would be already going up, and that'll allow him to just immediately go into the right. We're gonna do our final horizontal screen wrap. It basically just skips like both mini bosses. It just essentially deloads a death plane that would normally be there, and you could just have Sonic just land straight on like the final pathway that leads him into Mecha Sonic. Gonna do a little damage boost just to get some nice hits there. Yeah, he's pretty simple. He kind of has the movement of Silver Sonic and Sonic 2, but because you have 5 million rings, he's kind of like whatever for the most part. So we have our final reset, and we're in the Death Egg. So Death Egg 1 has probably the most like dumbest tricks in the run. I say dumb because I swear there's a lot of instances where like you do the same movement every time you do it just right, and it still doesn't. So there's a wall clip SuperSonic's gonna go for here. He'll take a stop and come over here. He's gonna pan the screen down. He's gonna try to get a clip into a spike on the wall on the right here. And just right, get it clipped down, and hopefully, oh shoot, look at that, what a legend. What a damn legend. So there's like 10 million things that can go wrong there. He can just die on the spike. He can clip down like past the little conveyor belt thing he was standing on. He can get soft locked inside of a room after the wall clip. He can get a zip in position and then not go fully past the wall. He has to do a setup to get inside, back in bounds. He can fall way too low into the wall and just instantly die for it. There's 10,000 things that can go wrong, and I hate the living hell out of it. And SuperSonic just like, yeah, whatever. Another day at the office.
Oh, wait till we get to Death Egg 2.
Yeah, before that, we got Mr. Red Eye over here. So Red Eye is a welly hated boss in the community, at least in the speedrun, because optimizing this fight is not the easiest thing to do, because he has a mind of his own sometimes. So second phase, you normally want to bounce on him 8 times and manipulate his platforms to not be in your way. But when he wants to be like this, then yeah, that's when it gets kind of difficult. And it makes it hard to hit him, and then he, man, this guy's killing it, man.
Jeez, I'll take it though.
That guy's footsie game was immaculate. He was keeping you away.
All right, last major trick in the game. Or I guess
All right.
second to last, I think.
Yeah. Don't die, Supersonic. That'd be silly.
Oh no.
Cheese and crackers. Okay. Death was intentional. He has to deload Act 1 of Death Egg to get the level up here. So what he's gonna do, he's going to get to a section where he can get on the ceiling, I guess, and do a hold the screen down to deload the staircase that's above him, aka below him, and basically clip into the wall there. And then he has to do a bit of extra inputs inside of the ceiling and form a 2-frame window lightning jump to get a position to get a zip into the boss fight. And that will allow him to basically just reach to the end of the stage.
This part's a little finicky here.
Yeah, this part's like a mind of his own. He's trying to get a zip off this left wall here. Requires a 3-tap.
That's early.
Yeah, so if he's early, you just have to like die basically. So it's technically possible to. Oh, you gotta do another like little clip here.
Oh.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so technically it's possible to reach the boss even when you're in the lower, like wrong, like height, but you're not at the right height to get a to get out of bound or get back in bounds to actually do damage to the boss. So that's pretty useless just to get into the boss without being able to do anything essentially. So SuperSonic has to be at the perfect like position to get back in bounds after after getting the position basically. So you're gonna try again, gonna come into position. Yeah, so this is fun. You know, having this as the final trick, pretty tight. Clip down.
There we go. That should do it.
Nicely done. Yeah, once again, the Supersonic being the absolute Chad lad. Doesn't need that pesky pause button, you know. Not like those other wimps, Neanderthals that rely on pesky pause buffers.
I'll be completely honest. I can't even do the pause strap for that part. So I do that pauseless. Because for some reason, like for some reason, whenever I try to pause on that frame and like when I unpause to try to go for the jump, it just never works for me. Like I always end up jumping like a frame late or something like that. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just look at the visual cue, see where I need to do the lightning jump, and then just practice that like as much as I can. And yeah, it just became like muscle memory from that point.
Nah, man, it's more like, man, the pause style, that's too easy. Nah, I need a challenge. That's what more like. Alright, beginning the here, so we have one more final trick here. Supersonic is going to intentionally stop and then spin dash once. You're gonna see Sonic and Eggman just kind of jitter to the right like that, so that offsets the collision of the floor. So basically, the floor is more leaning to the left, the floor collision. So visually, it looks like the entire floor is, you know, reaches from left to right perfectly fine, but the collision is not. So if Supersonic would wound up moving too far to the right while he's still grounded, he will fall straight into the death pit. So which is why Sonic is jumping off of the right here. Ooh, nice little screech there.
Oh, whoops, thought I... Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so you're gonna see this showcase on part 2 of this fight here. So he's gonna position Sonic to get a hit on the snout, hold the spin dash, and just basically just stick on the left side. Even though visually he looks like he should be dead there, but he just doesn't die. Look at him, Sonic, walking on air. Final 8 hits here. Yeah, so basically, like the floor is just so extended to the left. Like death is like so unlikely for a good majority of that fight.
And time.
GG's, man.
Oh boy. Thanks, man.
Yeah, I gotta say, man, like you show the good and the bad of like what can go wrong and the way you gotta back up on it. Good showcase.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much how this game goes. I mean, it can either go really good or it can go really bad. But
yeah,
and then you got stuff in between. But obviously, like Carnival Night was the only zone that gave me a tough time in this. But aside from that, you know, I got some of the other tricks, like especially Death Egg. Like Death Egg 1 was like one of the major tricks I was really worried about. Managed to get that, and then Death Egg 2, even though it took me like 2 tries to get it, like it's still pretty good. Wish I could have shown off monitor clip, but I was just a little too far to the left to get it. But you know, it is what it is. But at least I'm underestimated. I'm happy about that. Like, even though I was very close to hitting over, but I'm glad we can get that.
Yeah, we both did it.
Yeah, we'll take it. But anyways, yo, thanks Joey for hanging out with me for commentary, and also, you know, thanks for everyone for watching and, you know, supporting GTAs throughout all of this, and thanks for GTAs for having me on the marathon. So also huge shout outs to the Classic Sonic community. Great bunch of folks. You know, if you ever want to get into Sonic speedrunning, like Sonic 2 that you just saw like not that long ago, and then of course S3K, you know, we got plenty of folks that are willing to help, and you know, we have a Discord server and stuff like that. So you can find me on twitch.tv/supersonic_. I do a bunch of speed runs, and I've been kind of dabbling into like retro achievements and stuff like that recently, but for the majority of the part I do a lot of Sonic speedrunning, especially the Sonic 8. Just a bunch of compilation of games in one speedrun, and I'm also a Mario runner too. I do speedrun Super Mario Bros from time to time, but I haven't been running it lately. But maybe I'll come back one of these days and, you know, take care of some goals for that. And I think that's it for me. Joey, you got anything else you want to mention?
Not so much, but yeah, like once again, shout outs to the community, shout outs to like, you know, the folks that have dig deep into finding stuff for this game. You know, there was a decent point where we thought we found as much as we could, and you know, once a lot of the some newer folks came together and just dissected the game a bit more, we dropped it low to a at least in terms of IGT minus time bonus, we got it to a sub 30 basically. And yeah, that's potentially more that can be done with this game, but you know, maybe we need a new set of eyes. You know, hint hint, nudge nudge. You know. You wanna get your toes a little wet, you know?
Yeah.
Sonic 3 Knuckles is a really dope game. Could be intimidating, but man, it's a. I think S3K is like the perfect party trick speedrun. Like, if someone has never seen a trick like in this game in their lives, there's so much like visual like eye candy of how like broken the game can look. This is like a really good game to like pick up and like know a little strat or two. You know, it's a dope thing to show off to people. I think it's a really cool run for that aspect.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, again, thanks for watching, and I'll send it back to GTAs to get the marathon rolling.
Yeah, thanks for having us.